Okay, so it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I don't have any of that. I just had it on, had the door open, and it was like there's so many birds singing. I thought, well, let's listen to the birds sing while I talk. And I think because I've been up all night. I swear to God. Oh, I don't even. I think I know it's energy. I know something's going on, especially because then I'll see other people who are also up in the middle of the night. So, and other people saying that, there's people who are just now saying they're having weird dreams. So, I mean, it just goes at all levels, Everything about awakening is all the individual. It's how, and it's based on when it's supposed to happen for you. Because just because you hear someone talking about it, you have a distinct um, scenario that happens that wakes you up. So it doesn't matter what people are saying. It just be want, 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 want. It just won't compute in your mind. So, but right now we're having so many people wake up, which is really good. And one thing too is there's all these people now telling their supernatural stories, the stories that happened to them when they were kids and they never told anybody. And I just feel like there's going to be all these people who are going to suddenly be like, well, I always believed in aliens. I always believed in ghosts. I always believed in this. And okay, if you were if you're one of those people and you were in a crowd where you were making fun of other people who were talking about that, don't say that, because that's just rude. It's just like, if I was somewhere and somebody started telling a ghost story and people started making fun of them, I would have jumped in on the ghost story side. And, and I've been a person who has been telling a story and everybody laughs at you and tells you how crazy you are and ridiculous. So or they just zone out. But I just feel like now all these people are turning around going, oh, I always believed. I always believed. And it's like, oh my God. Just like the same thing as like, I do not understand. Like, this just is getting more absurd to me. So this jump in timeline shit, which makes no sense. I mean, seriously, look at it logically. Just like that movie Click. It was the same thing. You're just going to jump timelines. I'm just going to jump right on out of here. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to jump on out of here. What is your progression for your soul? Because as far as I'm concerned, you're not progressing and you're just going to bind yourself to this realm. So I don't even get the drive and the motivation. And I don't get how they all believe it is happening. Like, what in your life has changed? Are you getting up in the morning and you live in a new house and you drive a different car? You don't even know the people walking down the hall? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're on a new timeline. And now it's gotten so, I swear to God, because I have said, I mean, this happened to me, where I went in and had something happen where most people die from it. And the, uh, and this happens, like somebody is like, this is something that's going around right now. So if you've had an incident in your life and you almost died, you should have died, but you're still alive, then you jumped out of that reality. So you left that reality, you quantum leaped into a different reality, and that reality, you died for all those people. Which I was saying that about, like, right now, as things are splitting off, that could possibly be happening, like where we're splitting off and that you die from that reality, but you wouldn't continue in the reality. So you're saying all the people jumped with you? So, or did you go to a whole new place? Because these people keep being like, well, they just stayed in their same lives. Everything was exactly the same. They were just still alive. And to me, my perspective, my understanding of it is these miraculous things that happen to remind you of, this bigger picture in life, this bigger portrait, of what you really are. And and now you've got all these people. So they've already had put that out there. So that was already going. I don't even know, what spiritual guru started saying this. Probably the same one who started this thing about timeline jumping. And I know that there's things about these quantum things and stuff like that, and us being able to move. But this is us, like, this ascension process brings us into this being able to move ourselves through other realms and realities and stuff. Even the dream state, the other realms that we go to, to begin to explore and consider the realness of that world. And so this is a process of us getting to this point so that we can maneuver through different realms and stuff without keeling over. Like this one we're in, you have to be birthed in or die out, unless you are going in this other way. But they're not playing the game like we're playing the game. They aren't doing it. It's other things, because there's a lot going on here. Like I've said, we've got other realms and shit around us. It's like, it is like I see it kind of like a party in one room of a whole hotel of other rooms where other things are going on, because it's all these realities and realms, and we're just in the room with the party. So, anyways, so you got all these people who are all on this fucking reality jumping thing, which, as a soul, please explain to me how that makes sense. How does it make sense that there's no ending? You don't get out. You just keep jumping. You don't get to die. You just jump from another one to another one to another one. And it's like, that sounds hellacious. Like, to me, there's an ending, there's a process. Like all the ones where people who have near-death experiences where they die for any period of time and have memories of it, they go through this same encounters, these same experiences. So, and then they get sent back. Like, you have to go back. Like, it's like people are like, I don't know. It's like, I keep hearing bastardizing, but it's also like, it's like inflating and deflate. Like they're just distorting. It's like a distortion to me of what is real, and it's based on what? Like, who is coming up with this shit? Then they all jump on. They're all like, yeah, this is what's happening. Because now it is the attempt, like they all take this as like, this is a real attempt, and that's a whole thing too. But then, but there's a whole group who he actually died, and we're on a new timeline. We've jumped a new timeline now. We're all on this new thing. We all are. They're like, well, my life's the same, so I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. And all I see is the same shit that's happening. So I don't understand where I don't understand where these people are coming from. Like, I don't understand. Like, I have not heard anybody go through a near-death experience. I haven't read any books where it's just like they find themselves in another reality. They're just themselves playing in a different reality, or they, any of this stuff, like that you're a prisoner, that you're, well, you do get told you have to go back, but that has to do with timing and contracts and stuff. That is the thing, is like everything is so defined by the second of how things are going to play out. In this world that they keep talking about is our real world, that it is chaos. It is total chaos. And it's like, how does it keep going? How does that even work? Because as far as I understand, we are all souls coming into a place where we can go into, like in this case, this density. So we can go in and have this experience, which I think a big part of the experience, a big part of the draw is this, because it's density, that it gives us this opportunity to feel And so I think a lot of people come here to feel and and then I don't know, I've heard kind of mixed things of like there's people who don't want to come here at all because of the karmic debt, because how easy it is to put things out of balance, and then how you have to put them back in balance. You can, that's what binds people to that energy, that realm or whatever, because you put things out of balance, because you get caught up in the game. You forget about who you are, where you come from, what you're doing, and you start getting too caught up in the role that you're playing. And then you make choices, which you are always going to make them. You're not just all of a sudden making them. You were always going to make them. And that's what's, it's strange, because it is like we know we're going to make mistakes before we even go and do it, and we still go do it. But to me, that's how much we believe in ourselves. And this is so much like just a learning thing. And then when you have all these people who want to skip the learning part, like what are you, when, like, because they're jump timelines. I've seen them say you jump timelines when something's hard or something. And when things are difficult, you just jump on out of there and go to a new timeline. It's like, but the things that are in our life path that are difficult, the obstacles, are there to challenge us so that we can champion ourselves, so that we can become, so we can grow. It's like, I don't know. It's just like such a strange distortion of what people think about with spirituality or talk about, and a lot of these people don't even, they just buy onto whatever somebody says, because they don't even think about life in a spiritual perspective. They don't consider, what are you doing here on a larger scale? Well, why does this place exist? What are you coming here for? And what is your purpose? What is the point? And and there's some big, like, because there's some big spiritual accounts that I think say the wackiest stuff, and then you see other accounts that aren't as big as theirs but still bigger accounts that feed off of that. So see how it just keeps going out, and it's like, but what does your soul say? What is your internal guidance? Like, because some of this stuff is so strange to me, and how it just picks up steam. I mean, I don't care how many times they keep saying about this jump timeline. I think they talk wacky about manifesting. I think they talk wacky about a lot of stuff that I see very different than what they say. And as far as I'm concerned, that manifesting, you don't just all of a sudden think like, oh, well, I'm just going to manifest and I'm going to become the Queen of Egypt, and that's how I'm going to see myself every day. I'm just going to make it happen. It's going to happen. I'm just going to believe it until it happens. I'm going to make sure that happens because I want to be the Queen of Egypt. So that's what's going to happen. And I mean, if manifesting is so like the way that they try and tell people, then why isn't every motherfucker famous? Like, we got like a zillion people who think that they're going to be famous over, I don't know, dancing, lip syncing. Now, like this quinceanera thing, I was like, man, those things were always supposed to be like about purity or something. Like this pure daughter, is becoming a woman, and then they just now have turned it into, I don't know, trying to destroy culture and tradition, and it really shows, what our youth thinks. Like if you haven't seen the dance, and it is so true, like your grandparent, like this is like all of these people who you want to have respect, and then you're doing like a stripper show. It's like, oh my gosh. That was pretty surprising. That has got a lot of people talking. That there's lots of weird stuff still going with um, the whole Donald situation. Then they started with the RNC. So all this is going together. All this is linking together. And there sure is weird stuff about his VP pick thing. Like, he's the guy who wrote Hillbilly Elegy, and he also went to school with Mike. Like, what? Like, I don't know. I mean, what I understand is everything is to expose this criminal stuff. Like, I keep seeing these people, like, they are going live and stuff. Like, there's people who are sitting here like, I can't sleep. I can't. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they can't sleep because of the 25 with the 20 before it. They're all up reading it, deciphering it. It's like, this is so wacky. This is just more wackiness. We're going to stay up all night. We're going to just read this and stress out. It's like, well, you guys should be reading the one that ends with the 30. You're wasting your time on this one. But this is how the awakening works, though. See, you drop this guy's name and you say, this is what he's trying to do. See right here. And then you get him to read it and they start reading it and freaking out. It's like, okay, well, just wait and see, because that's all a projection of bullshit. And that is to get you to realize that about this 30 over here and the who wrote it, and what they mean to do, but how when it was written, like decades ago, and how we've been in the process of getting us there, and we're almost there. And so that's what you need to be concerned about, not this bullshit thing that Heritage Company wrote to say, well, this is what we think that they're going to do. This is what we think. It's like, this is wacky. And so this is how it's just weird to watch how the people react and how people just jump onto things, just like this such a hateful side of people coming out about, saying, well, he should have died. I guess it's even like all over on other things, Instagram and Facebook and stuff. I saw a TikTok of a guy showed up at a woman's job. She worked at like Walmart or something. He walks up, she's ringing somebody up. He's standing in line and he starts saying, oh, are you Candace Sintra off of Facebook? And she's like, yeah, from Calgary or something. And she's like, yeah. And he said, oh, so you think he should have died? And starts saying all the shit. She shuts it down, like she just won't even look at him. She don't want the video. He's like, you're going famous and stuff. But it's like, dude, you are just being just as cruel, like the hypocrisy. Like, so you're trying to get people to all jump on her because you don't like what she said, instead of just letting go what she said, that her own bad attitude. Because everybody's got these bad attitudes. They're going to be facing themselves soon. And yesterday was the 15th and nothing happened. And I was wondering, like, wonder how those remote viewers are feeling. Probably kind of like the Allison Coe situation where, geez. But, they did put the little disclosure thing of like, well, we don't know dates. But Allison Coe tried that too. It didn't go over so well. People freaked the fuck out. And that was on because there was predictions of the date of the solar flash. And it was years ago, because this has been going on for years. I know there's a lot of people just waking up, but all this stuff has been going on for a long ass time. And so she had predictions of the solar flash that was going to go, and then it didn't. And yeah, I remember it was a bunch of stuff with Fleur Brewer, however you say her name too, because she was saying she was seeing this stuff. She was saying it's happening. You guys just don't see it or something. And I don't know. I mean, some people can see energy and stuff, but we've been having these energies coming and stuff, these flashes and everything. But we have a huge solar flash that's gonna this big moment thing, and that could have been what the remote viewers had seen, but I don't know. I'm not sure what they saw. And when we pass a date, that doesn't mean that the thing isn't going to happen. That's what it seemed like so many people, like, oh, okay, well, you said it was going to happen, it didn't happen, and it didn't happen on that date, so they just blow it off. It's like, no, that just is still there. It's still coming. Like, we are in for some big stuff. We are in for a change. We are flipping the other side. It's like we're on one side of the coin's flipping to the other side. The pole shift will be dramatic. Like, we are in the drama. And we haven't even gotten to this part that is going to, I mean, we are in this scramble of poking everybody to kind of get them to wake up, because this thing that's going to happen is going to be very impactful. Whatever. I know that, like, the solar flash thing is supposed to be this big, that's supposed to be the harvest or something. That's supposed to be like where these people think of like the rapture or whatever, where there's gonna be a bunch of people who are gonna leave. Supposedly there's gonna be a bunch of people who will leave, and then I think it's like the seeders, the people who are here to bring forth this new world, that they go forward. And then supposedly, like in a lot of these QHHTs and stuff, it was saying that all these ships were going to come down and take the people whose vibration wasn't high enough, because all of this stuff happening that's, shaking everything up is supposed to be getting you to raise your vibration to heal and stuff, but people just go into like panic and fear and arguing and division, and so they have to see the error of their ways. And that is what this time of reflection, this time of mirrors, is what is going to happen. And there's some kind of event that happens that gets everyone to see this other side, that flips us over. I don't know what it is or how it's all going to work. I know through all this, though, we're going to continue to have all sorts of things happening because the planet is shifting. We're in this reset. We're at the end of an age. It's the end. Okay, so if you think of this like a stage show, and we all come here and get our costumes and come play our roles to be in the part, and the stage is lit. It's like a giant amphitheater, and that is reality, is an amphitheater for everybody to come in and witness themselves playing these parts and stuff. And so at the end of this age, when all these different parts were played out, then the stage is cleared and we're coming in with a new stage. So that is the drama that we have to go through at the end of one age to begin with a new age, is because it's clearing the stage and setting up for the new event. So it's not something that we need to be in fear of, but to me, everything is about being in awareness. So then you're not in fear because you get what's going on. And then also, being aware of what's going on in your area. But to me, it has a lot to do with also the signs and stuff, because when the universe wants you to move to a different place, or when the universe wants to move you around, they'll move you around. You don't have to force things. And people, I think there's a lot of people here learning about forcing things and stuff. Because if you force things, a lot of times it's going to go the opposite of what you want. So say, for instance, you are living in a place and you're just scared. It could be you're in a city and it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. And you just feel really stuck. And waiting for the universe to open the door of where you are meant to be can be quite tedious. And so you can feel like you need to force something, you need to make something happen. And that could also be a part of your journey. Like that could be a part of like something needs to click in with you to take a stand on something. So, but when you start forcing like where you're going to go and stuff like that, then you can start having that's where lessons are. So you try and force, like, well, I got to go this place for whatever your motivation is. It can be a lot of different things. It's all depending on your lesson. And I'm just talking about a case scenario. And so you force it and you go somewhere else. And then that place you're there for a month. A huge storm comes in and wipes out all the places. That's not to punish you or like you can't ever get ahead. I was like, that we weren't leaving you there. It's like that's what your guides would be like. You wanted to go. You're the one who went. We didn't tell you to go. We open the doors when you're ready, when we want you to go in a certain place. And so that is, the part of that learning to trust and learning to pay attention to when the door opens and where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do. Like I said, it is tedious. Like I've been waiting for that for a long time. Like I know that something is going to happen. I know, because I can feel like I've outgrown my place, and I mean, all the signs are there. It just hasn't shown me where I'm going. And I could go crazy. I could start trying to force it and, get my emotions all up. And, well, I've got to get closer to my grandkids. I've got to do, but if that's not the right place I'm supposed to be, because I'm going towards my manifestation is trusting the universe to take me into my optimal, the best place, not me deciding, them showing me, because that's the timeline that I chose. I chose to follow my instincts and go in the direction that didn't make sense to anybody, although it was being told to me in my head, and to go in that direction and trust where I was going. I mean, they give me signs and they give me visions and stuff of where it is, like, but you don't know how it's going to play out or whatever, but you got to trust that that is what is playing out. And that is very hard. That's a hard thing to start learning and accomplishing, because we all feel like, well, we got to make this happen, make that happen. We got to force this and force that. And then we find ourselves, standing there, in a pool of, like deceit I'm hearing, but, it's just like milk on your lip kind of thing, like you thought you were making good moves to go start over and do something different, and then you got there and everything went wrong because you were the one who was forcing it, and those were your lessons. Because it's much more about being able to sit back and relax, and even when things seem scary and seem like, oh my God, I mean, got earthquakes going out here, the pressure's on, I feel like I gotta get the fuck out of here, but nothing opens up. Nothing shows me, where to go or what to do. Yeah, my kids will say, like, well, I'd like you to come live over here, but then I think, I know I'm not going to just live in one place all year round, for one thing. And for another thing, it's not doable right now. Like what's going on with rents, and what's going on with the housing market, with all the whole market, with the whole planet, with everything that's happening. So all of this stuff going doesn't make it where it's some simple thing to be able to just go over there. And so, but I know something's going to happen. I know things are going to start happening, but that is definitely 100% where you got to learn to calm yourself and trust and just keep believing and not get caught up in the drama, the fear, the thinking that you have to solve all the problems and that you are the one who has to go and figure it out, because the universe does it. But the thing is this is what I'm talking about with your manifestation, where people think like, oh, you just manifest, like, oh, I'm gonna be the queen, I'm gonna win. And not like I've known somebody who was manifesting after, like I talked about my sister reading Norman Vincent Peale when we were kids, and so she decided it's all positive thinking. All I gotta do is think positive about it, and it's gonna happen. And so it was nonstop. She was going to win an Oscar. She was going to be a famous actress and all this stuff. And when we would try and talk to her, because she wouldn't go get it. She wouldn't take steps for, well, what if that doesn't work out? What are you going to do? How are you going to survive for the future? And she wouldn't recognize any of that. So I witnessed somebody who was positive. I can't even tell you how positive she was. And it didn't happen. And she ended up marrying somebody who was the same as her. They were so positive. They had their stuff for the night of the Oscars. They had this big bottle of Chivas, this really old bottle that they had been saving on a cigar. Like, they were all set. Like, and that's this manifesting. You live like it's coming towards you. But if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. You can't force what's not meant to be. The only thing that can be is what's meant to be. And that is what you have to get in tune with in your life. Quit trying to force things into being that aren't meant to be. And get into, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I here for? When I don't get caught up in this other stuff, what am I here to do? And that's, so that's why I say it's not manifesting. It's going towards your manifestation. It's like moving with intention through life, going towards what it is you want, but it is something that you want that is inside of you. It's like it's a part of you, but going towards it is makes you feel like, well, I'm crazy. Like, this has no signs that this would ever be. Like, what am I doing? And that is where you keep going, because that's where the magic occurs. That's where they can make things happen just out of the blue. And so that is where you got to follow their guidance. You go towards what it is they're showing you, the path they open for you, the voices in your head. But that's where you have to decipher the voices in your head. If you're just listening to all the voices in your head and you can't tell the difference, then you're going to be led down some dark pathways. So you got to, be able to decipher between your guidance and the different levels of guidance, because some guidance is there to feed off of your disappointment, while other guidance is there to celebrate as you move towards, because it's a consideration, it's a development in your communication abilities, and is an advancement like of your soul to be able to communicate and live in this it's kind of like building something out of a fantasy. It's like your dream coming true. And so, but your dream can't come true if you don't believe it's going to come true. So that's also the distortion in manifestation. Because, yeah, you have to believe it's going to come true. Otherwise, you're not even going towards it. Like, like you would change what you were doing if you didn't believe in what you were doing. So those are all part of lessons to learn as a soul, to develop yourself into this trusting, this relationship with your higher self, however you want to see it. So many people think it's like this relationship with this God who was disappointed. I don't know. But it's your relationship building with your higher self and your guides, the universe, the like the galactic mind. It's this energy, this spiritual side. It's like the spirit world is just the world of what you really are. And so your spirit is what is real, like that energy. Yesterday too, I was sitting outside and I was looking up and I was thinking about when I was a kid, how many stars there used to be. There used to be so many stars in the sky. If you could get out where there was no city lights, you could look up, there was zillions and zillions of bright stars. And there's so much less. And I was saying to my guides, something about what happened to all the stars. And it was they were born. So it's like the movement of souls. The soul, that's what we all are, is like stars, where there's energy. And so it was kind of like I saw it as all these souls coming towards the planet to be birthed in for this situation that we're going through. I think that's what, everybody's here for, because when you've gone through the age and gone through all these different lifetimes, and you get to this part of like, the ending, and this is like a finale. This is like a cleaning it all up. And when you don't clean stuff up, it binds you. That's the karmic debt and stuff. You're bound to the things that you put out of alignment. And so that's why you need to, that's why to me, as a part of this awakening, is becoming more mindful and becoming more where you think about what you're doing and how it's going to affect others. And so it gives you more perspective so that you don't just be reactive, because just being reactive, like this was a good video. So at the airport, it was super crowded, and there was a big old guy, and so it was two big old guys. They looked kind of similar, and so one was with his wife or family, and then the other one was behind him with his. So whatever this guy behind was being abusive to his family or wife or whatever, this guy turns around, gets in the guy's face, and starts yelling so that everybody in the airport can hear. Everybody's turning. I mean, videos are being made. And starts yelling at him, why don't you talk to me that way? And, like, you're going to talk to them like that? Talk to me. Oh, all this stuff. Like, and it's super intense. So I saw this woman stitching it, and she was obviously in a relationship with an abusive guy. And she was like, that doing that is going to make it worse. Like, then all of the humiliation that guy just went through, he's going to go take it out on whoever it is he takes stuff out on. Some men take it out on one child. Some men take it out on their wife. Some men take it out on their dog. Some men take it out on everyone in the house. It's all dependent when they can't self-regulate, and then they get all, jacked up on their emotions, and they can't. And one thing too is, face yourself. Like, notice, like, if people think like you are out of hand, you're out of pocket or whatever, and you are in public and you are acting like that to your family, like that's a problem in society. And when you get called out on it, instead of getting mad, it is like to recognize, like, fuck, I got a problem, man. Like, I get so mad. Why do I get so mad? And why do I take it out on everybody? And this woman was saying, because there's nothing that these men will ever take the blame for. No, I mean, he's going to turn around and he's going to blame it on his wife. See what you caused? And so they don't take any responsibility for themselves. So if you're a man or a woman, because both people can do it, and you have that kind of attitude, then if you get called out, that is an opportunity to see yourself and to really think about, like, fuck, if I'm going out in public and I'm the only person who's screaming and yelling at people and acting crazy, then maybe I've got a problem with my patience. Maybe I've got a mood disorder. Maybe I've got, I can't handle much. Maybe I fall apart at the littlest thing. And then when you do fall apart at the littlest thing, that's when you got to go in and figure out, like, why? Why do I lose my mind? Why do I, like, lose my shit over the smallest stuff? And it's because it's kind of like, if you know about the glass half full, empty or whatever, it's kind of like when you're birthed in and you are dealt your hand, and a lot of people have difficulty playing a shitty hand, and most of us are playing shitty hands, and so when you have a difficulty and you don't know what to do with your hand, and then it starts building frustration. So these people, their glass is already full, but it's filled up with tension, and it's filled up with disappointment. It's all a lot of negative stuff towards themselves and towards the people outside of them, because they see everything as pushing them to feel these feelings, and they don't realize, like, it's because you're so full of these feelings that every little thing pushes on those feelings. And how do you get rid of those feelings? Well, you got to process through it. You got to go through it and try and figure out, like, where does this come from? Why do I feel this way? And that is what the gift is when the triggers happen, because it narrows it down. Because somebody says something to you, and then it's like your reaction shows you everything. It shows you where you hold your pain. Well, but you got to go in deeper, because it's not ever on the level. And some of this shit goes to past lives. That's one thing, too, that I had forgot to say also about that girl who was doing the ketamine trial thing, or the therapy, and which I'm going to find out more about her thing, hopefully. But that she, because of all the guilt and the self-hate for herself that she has built, that she's sick. That's one of the things, is that she has to do stuff because she's super sick, and she's already had like all of her gut taken out, and she's got like a colostomy. She's got, and I don't think she's very old, and she's got a lot of serious stuff. But see, that's what happens if you turn your pain, internalize it, that you will physically get sick. And your sickness is also showing to you, mind, body, spirit is showing to you that you're holding on to something. That's why you got to be more tuned into yourself and recognize when your body's sick, when it's having this issue or that issue. That's what I was talking about. Your physicality is like your barometer in life. It's there to show you things and give you insight, but give you possibilities of fixing things. And everything is this micro, macro. Everything is an expression of everything else. And so when you are, when you get a trigger or whatever, and the stuff starts bringing up, so it starts making you feel bad, and so right away you feel defensive or angry or down on yourself or whatever, then you need to go in deeper into what the wound is and try and see it more clearly. Keep trying to go in deeper and deeper. It's like that idea of the layers of the onion, and going in deeper and deeper and deeper. Keep peeling away the layers and see how deep you can go to release. Because like I've said, a lot of stuff here is more on the surface of things from past lives. So some of this stuff is very deep that we're trying to heal, but there's things here now to promote these feelings to come up. But just as a soul, just see yourself as an entire being that has been living crazy lives for a long time, and you've been hurt and you've hurt others, just as we witnessed in this one. Especially, like, I feel like right now there's so much stuff that we've gone through in past lives that people are just now going through, like doing their kids in and stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff has happened a lot throughout history, and throughout our history of mankind. There's been a lot of atrocities, but we are the players. We're all associated to these atrocities. So that's why I'm saying, we have a lot of things to release, and the stuff goes in super, super deep. But people who have serious anger issues, they especially when you feel like you have to blame everybody else, because nobody can make you feel something. The feelings are inside of you, and that is a big part of what we're going to see in this awakening, especially when the things flip, because so many people don't realize that the stuff that they think is coming from inside of them. Their hypocrisy, their hatefulness, their bullying, all of that stuff is inside of them, and they have to witness that for themselves. So that's the awakening. That's the, to really understand and to see yourself. Because like I said, all these people, they're living with, like, they're making decisions on half the story. And we have a huge part of the story that has to be revealed. And it's like the other side of the story, just like all these people focused on the 25 when you should be focused on the 30. Like I would, but however this all has to play out, like, I mean, there's people who've got to sit there and wish death on people. Well, oh, I remember that's with the Walmart lady. I think it was her post. It could have been hers, but there's a lot of people who are doing these. Well, at least they may have missed him, but at least they got two of his supporters. It's like, see, they have to have these things happen so that these people can see their hatefulness. Like, God, people are just so hateful, and especially when you are sitting there just projecting so much hate on somebody over who they support, over a color of hat they like to wear. It's like, this is the side that people have to see in themselves. This irrational and so shallow. Why is there not more depth? Why can we not allow people to like and appreciate what they want? And then there's no way that this is going to go into, we're breaking free from having leaders. So all of this stuff where people are all freaking out, like, you know, it is ridiculous. Like, why do you think this guy wants to be so bad in the thing that he's going to put himself through all those court cases? How much money is he going to spend on lawyers and courts and bullshit? Be, at all of this stuff that he has to go through. And people think like that he really wants this so bad, like that he was going to put himself through that. It's like, no, like, that is ridiculous. You guys think he wants to be a dictator so bad that he's going to... And why can't the people see? It's the dictators who are not letting the regular folk in. It's like they just see things so backwards, and I don't know how they got so mind twisted in there. It definitely comes from somewhere else. It comes from half stories and misleading, and it comes from the difference in the communication that comes to the different groups. Like, there's total different information that goes to different groups. So that's, it's all manipulation. So all these people have to see that, and they are a part of it, They spread this stuff, and it's all bullshit. But that's where we have, it's just wacky how much bullshit is out there right now, and how many people have to see for themselves, because it's so obvious. Like, but I've been awake for a long time. And so I've been watching, I've gone through all these different parts that people go through when they wake up. I just got to this other part where it's more like an observation, and it's not scary. Like, I don't feel scared of, I don't feel stressed out or stuff like where people are panicking and freaking out. And I know things are going to be happening, but it's also, if something happens to you, it's supposed to happen to you. You're supposed to leave at that time. And if things happen around you, it's opportunities. Like, there are seriously things happening all over the place where heroes are being born. So that is why, it's not something that we need to sit and fret about. We just have to know, like, okay, we're in this big time of change. We're here to experience this. The things happening around us are here for us to learn and to grow, because there's a point and a meaning to us growing. It's towards this ascension, towards this development of our soul, so that we can... it's kind of weird, because I think as souls that we already do this, but this is kind of like graduating from this like realm is kind of like graduating with honors or something. Like, I think it gives you an extra sparkle in the realms of, in the magical realms where we are. It's more, it's like, kind of like where a doctor keeps going and getting more education. So it's like we already are these light beings, but then we come in and learn and experience more. And so that's like graduating with honors kind of thing, you know. It's like, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement when people start realizing how important this what's happening on the planet is to the rest of the galaxy, the universe, to the rest of the beings that are out there, and how many beings are invested in what's happening here. Oh, and this was kind of trippy, is there's all these people getting pictures up in the clouds, and like I've said before, there's energies that are held in different places, and there's people talking about now LA is being held by this demon kind of entity energy kind of thing, this really dark energy. But see, it's the people who feed that energy, and so the energy grows and grows and grows. So it's like the energy can put out a resonance, a beam, like, but it's the souls that buy onto it. And there is an attitude, you know, in some places they do have certain attitudes and stuff. And there's lots of places who are built on a lot of death and destruction of other beings, and those energies stay in these places. These energies stay, and they build up. And right now we're at this time of this purging of a lot of energies. And so there's a storm that happened in, I think it was Milwaukee or something, but they were getting pictures. Like, there's some wild skies out there right now, and it's so weird because over by me it's just solid blue, like not a line in the sky every day, just blue, 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 blue. It's so weird because we haven't had that in so long. But all these other skies are whacked out, and one of them was this big red cloud thing, but it totally looked like a demon face, and it was looking down on the people. There's so many people seeing the faces in the sky and stuff, but you gotta think about, like, they get all scared and stuff. Like the one is scary to me, that one that was by the moon looking down, that's scary. But it looks like a giant being is there or something. It doesn't just look like a face in the clouds. These faces and stuff that are around us and stuff, it's like entities and ghosts and stuff, like spirits. Like, that's what we are. But we're the show. We're the show right now. We're the lit up part. We're on the stage. And so all these other beings that are the same as us are all watching as we play out this thing. But as it plays out, it is kind of like everybody's coming to graduation to watch. And it has been like we've been going through these. Oh, that is cool too. Like some people's guides and families from other places are watching as this all happens, because this is like this really big jump for humanity. It's a quantum leap for humanity, and all of the participants, all of us who make this leap, is what is the drive, the excitement. And that is what is going to be so cool when people realize how exciting this is to everyone else, the presence of mankind, and how we are taking it to a whole nother level. And so it's all very exciting. And so, yeah, there's nothing to fear. And when you leave the stage, that's all it is. You just leave the stage. And I don't know, you know, I mean, you can, if it resonates with you, what these people talk about, all this timeline jumping, maybe they're souls that just go out there and just jump around and don't ever, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just such a far-fetched concept to me. To me, it's a lot more of a deliberate thing. Like, we have this other world that we exist in, and we come into this because, like, think of how much stuff you learn in one little thing, and all the perspective that is gained. And everything is about this moving towards this place where we don't judge each other, because we can understand, like, how you get to these situations, why this happens. Like, you go through these things and you make choices and you get yourself into these positions, and we all go through these. So it takes away are wanting to judge everybody else because it's like, well, look, I do the same shit. I do the same shit. I've done the same stupid ass shit. I'm just lucky enough it didn't, nothing happened. But the people it happens to, it's because it's a part of their lessons. And part of it is the roles and stuff of showing. And so that's all it is that's all we're doing is playing roles. The part of you that you get to see is, it's like your attitude. It's like how you look at things. And that is a part of your development all the time. It's not like you're stuck. It's like you're always changing, you're always developing, you're always growing. There's not a stagnation as the soul. As a soul, you're just zipping around. So you are in a progress. So there is not a stagnation. There's always growth. So just I don't know. There's but yeah, I don't understand. Like, if you do believe what these people say about this, the timeline jumping, like I'm not even sure what their point is about timeline jumping, and how many times a day I hear it. It's mental. Like, I for sure today will hear that we've jumped timelines. We're on a new timeline. It's like, what is the new timeline, Ron? Like, what is it? Because to me, I'm on my same timeline. I don't know what y'all are jumping around doing. And it's weird, too. Because like I said, like, wouldn't you see something different when you be like in a different house? Like, if you were on a different timeline, you just jumped. So it would be like, I'm going towards a certain thing, like my manifestation. I'm working towards my manifestation. I'm going towards a door that's not open yet, but I know it's going to open when the time is right. This door will open and I'll know where to go. And so I'm going towards that, even if nobody else can see it. So that is going towards my manifestation. So if I'm timeline jumping, wouldn't I suddenly just be in my manifestation? Wouldn't I just, oh, I get up this morning, I'm not getting up in the same house, I'm not getting up, like everything would be different. Like, I don't understand what their basis is on this timeline jumping thing. So it's just like, I mean, it's very strange. It's very strange to me. Like, I really don't get it. I don't get where they come. To me, it's kind of like just another one of these psyops. It's another one of these distractions, because you have to go in and use your discernment and think and look at it like rationally. Like, what would be the point of life? And how would it be if we were all just a bunch of fucking grasshoppers just jumping around, jumping timelines, jumping? That's chaos. That is like insects. That's like that energy. We're not that. We're something far more advanced than that. And we have more purpose. And it has to do with growth and expansion. It doesn't have to do with hiding from things that are hard. It's like the challenges are what we live for. It's like what we come here for is the challenges, because we grow. So I don't know, what these people, what their point is of being alive. Well, is it just so you can try and get to Jesus, get to heaven? Like, they all seem so confused. It's like, and to me, it's like the same people who were sitting there saying we're going out of the Matrix. All these people want out of the Matrix and stuff. It's like, well, if you think of this reality as a Matrix, you brought yourself into it. Like, and it's not your first go round. This isn't your first time in this Matrix. Like, this is where realities happen. This is where experience is created. So, and to me, all these people who are so scared of their timeline and so scared of the Matrix and stuff like that, that it shows you're not very connected to your spirit or the universe. Like, if you're so scared of everything, there's so much fear in people. and it's unwarranted. It's a lot more about learning how to maintain yourself, to manage yourself, to talk yourself off the ledge, to keep yourself calm. Like what is the big fear? Because they try to make it like, to fear death, but death doesn't exist. That's a made up concept. It's just a part of, what we have labeled the exit in the game. We could label it a lot of different things, but that is what they, used. I don't know, because I guess it sounds scary, but it sounds scary because of the stuff they put with it. Like, but anyways, there's nothing to stress out about like that. Like, there's things that are stressful for sure, but those are our challenges to learn how to regulate ourselves in the most dire of situations. And when shit's going down around you, to be able to go into service of others, to kick it into gear and not fear of like your own safety, but to become more of a, wanting to help and trust, because the trusting, because there's this whole part of just believing in yourself to stay alive. And I'm not saying that the people who are dying is because they don't believe in themselves or something. No, this is the transition. This is how we transition. Because you got to think about, we're transitioning into this time where we don't die anymore. So just put it all together. Like, well, how do we stop dying? Well, for one thing, we stop believing we're flesh and blood. We get out of that concept, and we start realizing we have more power over, over how we see things, how we look at things. So we change this. But the things that have already happened are supposed to happen. We're just in this time of change. So it's not like because the people who didn't do it, well, those losers, they didn't figure it out. That's not what it's about. The people who figure it out is because they are supposed to figure it out. The people who didn't figure it out, they weren't supposed to figure it out. That's not why they were here. That's not what they were here to do. The people who do figure it out, that's what they're here to do. Like, everybody has their own thing to do. It's because, I'm doing this doesn't mean everybody's doing the same thing. We all have different things. And so it's not, that's, another thing to get out of judgment, thinking like, well, because this is how I look at things, this is what I think about, this is how I feel, that everybody who doesn't, that something's wrong with them. And so it's a lot more of, seeing that also everybody sees things through their own perspective. And if they haven't gone through certain things, that's not even in their bandwidth. It's not something that's in their destination. So it's not like everybody even is supposed to see things the same or have the same perspective. We're supposed to have all these different perspectives. The universe is banking on multiple perspectives. You know what also I think is strange is on TikTok, there's always these girls, like, their whole thing is just, buying clothes off TikTok and then modeling them and trying to talk us all into buying them. And then some of them are the people's stores. So it's their own clothing line or whatever. Some people are promoting their own stuff. But anyway, so you have all of these people who are constantly on there, and they're always like, oh, the viral dress is finally back. Everybody come and get this dress. It's finally back. I was like, what in our society gets us to all want to dress alike? Like, I just saw another one where the girl's like, oh my God, they finally got these jeans back. The viral jeans. Look at these. They're so great. They're so stretchy. Look at them. I love them. I love them. And they're viral jeans and everybody's got them and I want them too. So it's like, what? Why? I mean, I think in a lot of cases, like, people get embarrassed when they show up at this same place. You go someplace and someone's got the same outfit as you on. Then it's always like, oh, that's embarrassing. So why are we all like, oh, we all got to buy the viral jeans. We all got to buy the viral dress. Everybody hurry and get this. So we all go out and it's our uniform. We're all wearing the same dress. It's like, it's so strange. And I think that is also, where I've said that we're going to go way more into having clothes made for us. Like, you would go to somebody who is a clothes maker and you'd have them make them to your body frame size. And the clothes will fit you, just like how men would go and get suits and then they get them to fit them. Like, we'll start having clothes that fit us. We're not trying to go and fit into clothes that are off the racks because it's generic. And I just saw this other video of this girl. Oh, yeah, more of these. Um, but she was like, I don't know how heavy she is or whatever, but she was just off on a tangent how much she hates herself. She's hideous. She's ugly. She's fat. She's disgusting. She can't stand herself. She needs help because she doesn't know how to like herself. It's like, see? And see what they did to get people to even like surrender their health and their bodies and stuff. And it was get them all on to jump on board to, like, it's okay, we'll all be fat together and we'll all love ourselves. But then the people, gain weight and then they start being like, I hate myself, I'm uncomfortable. Every time I want to go and put something on, it doesn't look good. And they just get really down on themselves. But that is a part of this kick in, because like that's the part that they don't see yet. They have to see, like, well, they have control over this. And more I'll keep playing out with the food thing and people seeing. I saw this guy, this doctor guy or something yesterday, and he was saying that there is, because he was saying that people who work out all the time, they die sooner than the people who don't. And he said it's based on because our food has no minerals. There's nothing nutritious in our food. And so you have people who are not filled up. It's like they don't have a full tank, and they're going out and expelling all their energy, so they're depleting themselves faster, and so that's why they die quicker than the people who are couch potatoes, who which, I mean, that's going to be variable on all of those things. And besides the fact that you die or you leave the game at an exact point in time, just like your birth is an exact point in time, the leaving is an exact point in time. So it's not like it can shift or be different. And whatever there is to learn from it, or whatever the points were that you need to register or look at, you go over them at your life review. So you learn what you need to learn and you see what you need to see. And everything to me that you can do while you're alive is an advantage. So I think it's important to stay on top of your spiritual side of you. Like, I don't even see the point of the trying to stay caught up in the 3D side. Like, that to me is just like it binds you. Like, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just waiting for the 3D side to kind of just dissolve. And so everybody is more into the spiritual side, and that must be this 5D kind of mindset, this more thinking through your spirit than thinking through the game registry or something. So the more that you can get in tune with thinking through your spirit and how you perceive and how you look at things and trying to understand, what you're doing here, why are we here, what are we doing? And I don't know, you just got to really be picking and choosing who you listen to. And, and also it should include, you trying to learn more about spiritual, not just depending on these other people who claim to know a lot about spirituality, but go out and learn more about it for yourself. And, then you don't have to, you'll come up with your own thing. You'll understand it through your own perspective, through, your own mind, and not through somebody else's. Because those people, a lot of these people who to me just seem like they're just in fear. Like, they're not fearing the government, they're fearing, but it's like not feeling like they have any control. Like, fear of God or fear of the universe, fear of nature. Like I'm not sure, but definitely just a lot of fear. And that's not what the universe is about. The universe, it's like you want to talk about a fear. It's like their attitude would be more like does not compute, does not compute, does not compute. Like what do you have to be fearful about? But those of us who are in the realm, those of us who are in the realm, we can get it. We can understand what it is that we're fearful of. It's like it's intense when you're down here. It's super intense because you have the all the stuff going on, and you have your internal uh, monitoring system. Like you have emotions and uh, feelings and stuff, and that is what see these other people know about that. That's why they try and keep us so in cortisol, so stressed out, because they know that that's going to affect us and make us sick and make us beat down and age you. It's another thing that ages you. And what was that? Because it was something else. Um, I had somebody just ask me in the comments on TikTok because they're like, I've been drinking from the copper cup for a month and my hair hasn't changed. But that is what I have been saying for a long time. We're all individual. Like, one thing about copper is that it is the common deficiency if you have white or gray. And so like, well, I probably have copper deficiency. And then most everybody has magnesium. Most everybody has vitamin D3, which that is even this whole synthetic thing. And then, but you have to have these other ones to create the absorption. So they all like need each other. So if you're depleted, like if you really need selenium and your body keeps trying to create it or whatever, then the other stuff isn't going to absorb the same. And then another thing, what did I say too? Like if you are constantly taking in all these chemicals, you're working against yourself. So it's more than just like, well, I got a copper cup and now I'm drinking out of it. That should just be your beginning. Like, okay, I'm going to take my health more serious. I'm going to start doing this and taking more steps and more steps, because that's what I've been doing, is taking step after step after step after step. I didn't just take one and stop. You got to keep going. And then don't get caught up in thinking like, oh, well, it didn't work. It's like, it's already coming out. Like all these doctors, we are minerally depleted. It's the soil, the food. It has no nutrition. We have no minerals in our bodies show it. We have signs. All these signs of aging and stuff is all this depletion. So it's obvious, and so we have to go towards making ourselves better. And, as you go through your awakening, you find out how many toxic chemicals that you ingest. Then and then you start putting it together of like where your pain comes from, your headaches, your all different ailments, and where they come from. Is probably because of all of this chemicals that you've taken in. And so it's all these changes that have to occur where you start stepping up for yourself, like making changes, and they're not easy. Like, fuck, dude. Like, I was addicted to Sweet and Low. Like, that wasn't easy to get off of Sweet and Low. It wasn't easy to get off of Coffee Mate Creamer. Like, I had been drinking my tea the same way for so long, every morning. The same routine. Drinking my tea with Coffee Mate. And so switching all these things up, it takes motivation. It takes your determination. It takes you making changes. And so you have to start figuring out what are healthier ways, because it does all have to do with your lifestyle and your attitude. That's another thing. Like if you're just very down, you'll be sickly. And your sickness should be showing you, you know. you're down. You got to heal something. You got to let go of something. You can't just drag your pain around behind you. It's going to wear you out. You have to release it. You have to let it go. So, that my stomach is growling like crazy. And I've been up all fucking night. I've had already like 4 cups of my tea stuff that I drink now. But and I've already eaten some graham crackers. I'm still, I'm really having such a hard time with food now. I swear that flour thing really did me in. So like, and I've got crackers. Like I've got some graham crackers and I've got some saltines. And I don't know, and it's probably full of disgusting stuff that's just full of chemicals and gross ass shit. But I don't know, there's something like when you make it in your house and you see the stuff growing in it, it's like, oh my God, I really want to just get to the just eating nuts and dried fruit or something. I don't know how long it's going to take up for my body to start being like okay with that. It starts craving weird ass shit that I wouldn't eat anyways. And what was that one too? I was going to say some with the flour, food, the weird ass shit. There's a lot of weird ass shit. Well, I can't remember what it was I was about to say. But anyways, there's all this just crazy weird stuff. Just keeps going and going. All these crazy storms. It's like, I don't know, 13 tornadoes in Chicago or something. And then they had a crazy sky. There just keeps being crazy, crazy skies and stuff. So still can be the thing where the sky is going to open up and that's going to be the big thing. We got fucking, what's his name? Vladimir's ships going up towards Alaska. We got somebody coming out and saying the Kraken's real. Anything that it was ever folklore or something, just figure it was all real. It's all real. That has always been where they've been trying to trick us, to get us to think like, none of this stuff is real, none of it exists, but it all does. All these fairies and I don't know, there's lots of people getting all sorts of footage up in the sky saying there's dragons up there too, so just be prepared for anything. Like, maybe there's going to be dragons flying through the air and that's going to be the big sky event. I don't know. Yeah, just whatever it is, it's all things for us to wake up so we can, get going on this beginning. So this is the ending. We want to get to the beginning. We're not in the beginning yet, even though there's a lot of us who are focused on the beginning. We still, that's a part of us having to, not rush the universe. We have to just go with the pace of how things are moving, like timing, divine timing. We can't push it. We can't rush it. We can't force a new timeline. It's like this has got to play out the way it plays out, and we've got to just be aware and pay attention so we learn from whatever it is that's going on that affects us. So all the important things you got to remember to learn is learn to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day because it is up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.